Now by Jeff and Russ from fantasyfootballstarters.com, and we have a lot to talk about, starting with the guys you say you need to play this week.
Yes, that's right. We're going to start off with Jeff Garcia, quarterback, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This guy's a scrappy player. Tampa Bay is going up against, I want to say they're going up against the Saints. They've been allowing about 2 touchdown passes a game, so we think Garcia is a good play. Probably score a couple of touchdowns, just over 250 yards. And then Thomas Jones, running back for the New York Jets. They're playing against the Denver Broncos, and ever since the Jets got Brett Favre, now, Carrie, they've got a passing game with a running game. Thomas Jones is a great play this week as well.
You know Favre is loving that.
Yeah, he is. You bet.
Retribution.
No kidding. And then another team that's doing really well this year is the Atlanta Falcons and Roddy White, their wide receiver, going up against San Diego Chargers. Roddy White is having a great year. I think he's on track to have like 1,400 yards this season, playing real good ball. It just goes to show you when you have a quarterback like Matt Ryan, as well as a running game with Michael Turner, we think Roddy White's a good play as well.
The running game. We're going to be talking more about that with the Cards coming up in just a second. But first, let's talk about who you might consider not starting.
Well, one guy you definitely don't want to start this week is Browns quarterback Derek Anderson. Derek Anderson steps in for Brady Quinn, who was placed on injured reserve earlier this week. He gets the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts have allowed a league fewest 4 passing touchdowns in 11 games so far this year. It's not a good matchup for Derek Anderson at all this week. At running back, you want to avoid Peyton Hillis, the running back for the Denver Broncos. He's taking on a New York Jets team that has not allowed a rushing touchdown in any of their last 6 contests so far this year, and Peyton Hillis could be splitting some time if Selvin Young is active this week for Denver, so stay away from Peyton Hillis. And finally, at the wide receiver position, Isaac Bruce of the San Francisco 49ers. He had a great game last week for the San Francisco 49ers, but in 2 games this year, he's put up over half of his production for the season. Back in week 2 and this past week, every other week this year, the other 9 games, barely averaging 3 catches for 31 yards.
Well, and we were just talking about him a minute ago. He's getting brutalized. People are saying he's too old, that his age is playing a role. And I was saying the guy's only 34.
34 years old. He had a great career with the Rams, won a Super Bowl with them, Carrie. And then when Mike Martz came to San Francisco, a lot of people thought that, okay, Isaac Bruce is joining the 49ers, so is Martz. He's going to have a real good year. Hey, he's just having an off year. That's all.
Yeah, injuries. I mean, that doesn't matter if you're 34 or 24. If you get injured, it's tough to overcome sometimes.
And it also hurts not having a good wide receiver opposite him to take some of the pressure off of him, like he had with Torrey Holt back in St. Louis.
Okay, let's talk about the Cardinals. Just brokenhearted. They just had a really, really rough week.
Yeah, they did the last couple. I mean, they had a tough game against the Giants. Everybody thought that was close. And then they go into Philadelphia.
At least the Giants game was kind of respectable.
Yeah, but you're right. And then going into Philly and get booted out. Now, next week, a week from now, they're playing against the St. Louis Rams, and we think the defense is going to be a great play. As everybody knows, the Rams are having a terrible season. So even though the Cardinals have already played this week, we better start looking forward to next week, the defense playing up big for against the Rams, and then maybe if the Cards win, I think they get into the playoffs. So that's what we've got to shoot for with the Cards.
Okay, we've got about a minute left. We're going to talk about the gift card giveaway in just a second, but first, I think it's so interesting. You guys were saying that you've had a lot of response to this segment, a lot of women getting involved in fantasy football, which I love to hear that.
Absolutely. Well, fantasy sports in general has about 30 million people playing. Fantasy football is anywhere between 18 and 25 million of those people are playing NFL fantasy football. And then 10% of them are women. And Carrie, I got to tell you, every time we do a giveaway, we have tons of women responding, emailing us after this segment, and we've got Deb, Paula. These are people that are emailing every week almost.
Nice.
So yeah, and it's close to about 10% are women playing.
Okay, let's talk about the giveaway.
Russ, why don't you go ahead and give away the gift card this week?
Well, the gift card giveaway for this week, our question is, which 2 Arizona Cardinals wide receivers caught touchdown passes Thanksgiving night against the Philadelphia Eagles? First correct answer on that, you get the gift card giveaway. That's the magazines, that's our product, that's all the stuff that's included.
You got it. Jeff at fantasyfootballstarters.com. That's who you have to email to get that gift card.
And just very quickly, what do you think is the one thing the Cardinals need to do at this point?
They need to get a running game going. If they're going to make it into the playoffs, there is no team that has been successful without a running game. We all know they have great wide receivers, they have great quarterback play, but if those defenses just sit back, they've got to get a running game going.
All right, you guys, thank you so much. As always, appreciate having you on.
Got it.